Shalom, wherever you are. Welcome to the word-based channel with Prophet Clyde Jones. Today I'm going to be talking about environments that can never allow God to perform a miracle in your life. The book of Mark chapter number 8, verse number 22, 23, and 26. I'm going to read the word of God. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they brought a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the town. And when he had split on his eyes, and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he ought to saw. Verse number 26. And when he sent him to his house, saying, neither go into the town, nor tell anyone in the town. Thank you. This is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. One of the days when he was holding his meeting, people brought him a blind man in his service, and they were expecting Jesus to perform a miracle of restoration of sight. And Jesus took the blind man, and he went with the blind man out of the city so that Jesus would perform the miracle. Who is Jesus? The man of God, the very anointed man of God of all time. Jesus was very powerful, but this time he is taking the man out of the city so that he would perform a miracle. Which means that Jesus was not able to perform a miracle in the city that this man was brought into. He was limited to perform such a miracle in such a town. Hence he had to take him out of the city. Yet Jesus was the Son of God. You know what? There are some environments that can never allow God to perform his miracles. There are some environments that can never allow God to intervene in your life situation. Can you watch this? There are some people that as long as they are still part of your life, God can never perform a miracle. There is a relationship that as long as you are still in it, God can never perform a miracle. There is a marriage that God can never perform a miracle as long as you are still attached to it. There is a business that God can never bless you as long as you are still doing it. There is a friendship that God can never bless as long as you are still part of it. He is the Son of God, but he had to take the man out of the city so that he could perform a miracle. Can you imagine? God is talking to Moses. God is appearing to Moses in a burning bush. But God is saying, I want you to remove your shoes so that I can ordain you, so that I can send you, so that I can make you a prophet. If Moses was not going to take off his shoes, God was not going to send him. God was not going to work with Moses. There are certain attributes, there are certain behaviors, there are certain things that we have to live so that God can perform a miracle in our lives. You know, sometimes you pray so much, you give so much, you fast so much, but your environment is toxic for God to intervene. As long as Moses is still wearing those shoes, God cannot do it. Why? Because Moses killed an Egyptian, and when he killed that Egyptian, he was wearing those sandals. So when he came into the presence of God, God could still trace the footsteps of Moses, and God said, remove your shoes. If you want God to perform a miracle, if you want God to intervene in your life, you have to have that knowledge. You must know that there has to be something that you have to remove. He is the Son of God, but he's taking the man out of the city so that Jesus would perform the miracle. If Jesus was going to force the miracle, it was not going to happen, because that city was not a city that was ready to receive God's miracles. There is an environment, there is a location, there is a country, there is a city that you are today that can never allow God to make you a millionaire, that can never allow God to give you that peaceful life, that can never allow God to do whatever that you want him to do. What am I saying to you? Move out of very bad environments. Move out from very bad connections. Move out from very bad relationships so that God can perform a miracle. And after Jesus He had performed the miracle. He instructed the men not to go back to the same city, not to go back to the same city. What am I saying? God can deliver you from a certain addiction. God can deliver you from certain things that you are struggling. And after He delivers you, He is not expecting you to go back to that area, to that place where you were trapped for many years. After God brings deliverance, after God delivers you, don't go back again. Be very careful of the environments so that God can do better. God bless you. See you in our next session.